There is a new name, there is a new idea for the midfield of Juventus. We are speaking about the 21 years old, young Chelsea player, Carney Chukwuemeka. And we'll speak about him and much more in today's video. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Update, we will speak about midfielders, defenders, and strikers in today's video. We start immediately with what I told you yesterday. We have a few confirmation more about the Weston McKennie Cristante voice from a few days ago that totally collapsed. Also today, Gazzetta dello Sport is confirming it. They are telling us McKennie said no to Roma and Juventus not that interested in Cristante. From what I know, from what I heard, Juventus was not really 100% interested in Cristante. It's more a rumor because indeed there was some interest from Roma to McKennie, while people are starting to imagine, but if McKennie goes there, who can go the other way around? So they spoke about Cristante, they spoke about Pellegrini. At the end, it was not Juve that was interested in this player, which is great. I always told you, and I know it's sometimes unpopular, but I prefer foreign players if I need to go towards mid-Italian players. Then, if you're telling me in an ideal world, I prefer top Italian players, but how much do we have at the moment as we speak? 5, 6, 7 in total in Italy if you're really speaking about Juventus world players. So McKennie said no to Roma, he doesn't want to, and Juventus is not interested in their players. We move on to the midfield because we are still in the midfield with that new idea, with that new name that is Carney Chukwuemeka from Chelsea. I don't know if I asked you already today. Please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are that close to 39,000 Juventini of the world. I think that this morning update we missed like 8 Juventini, so we're sure that we can find them. Hopefully, who knows, today. Can we do it? Mission for today, big challenge of today, 39,000 today. When I come back from La Playa, from the beach, from La Spiaggia in Italian, I would love to have them. Anyway, Chukwuemeka, it's a player, 21 years old, that was actually already linked to Juve in the month of January. A player that was monitored by Cristiano Giuntoli, already in talks, because you know it's not that Comoli is doing a copy-paste of the list of Cristiano Giuntoli, but when you already open talks, the club, for example, Chelsea, that has a lot of players to deal with, well, they take the phone and they call back, hey, you were interested in that player, I know that you changed management, are you still interested? Because if you are looking for midfielders, like we know, like we are, I don't know what's happening behind me. Anyway, we know that you are interested in the player. We know that you are looking for a midfielder because we know what you are doing. We know what clubs are moving on. Well, that player that you already asked information for, Carney Chukwuemeka, could potentially go away. Well, in January, he didn't go to Juve. He went on loan to Dortmund. He played 10 games in Bundesliga with them. 21 years old. He will be 22 in October. A good player, yes, not a phenomenon at the moment. But we said exactly the same about Renato Veiga. Do you remember? Yeah, he's not playing with Chelsea. The big question at Chelsea is, are they not good? Are they not good enough? Or didn't they receive the opportunity to show that they were good? Exactly the same story as Renato Veiga. So it's a player that at today, especially here, guys, I'm thinking about other things. I didn't have the time to go and to really study, to speak with some fans from Chelsea, what they really believe from him, going to highlights and skills, maybe starting to watch, a game that he played at Dortmund, like 30, 45 minutes to see the movement that he's doing. I don't know. You know maybe better, so let me know. But for these kind of players, I tell you that the idea of Juve is clear. Even if the number one target is Yulman, and we already know everything about him, well, Juventus is continuing to push for a midfield. That's a priority for Juve. I know that in our minds we have a striker, we have defenders, we have possibility a winger, especially on the right side, and we never speak about the midfield. But looks, if we are monitoring a bit the situation about how Juventus is moving and the names, well, midfield is super important, which means that at today, well, Tudor, the management, they believe that Loca and Thuram, yes. Do we have more of that? I don't know. Especially because Koopmeiners is identified at the moment, at today, as a player that is playing a bit more offensive. And looks also that Juve doesn't want to go to play with 3 men as we speak. So Chukwuemeka is a new name. If you're speaking about the other roles, defenders, well, Lloyd Kelly is back. We know that he injured himself during the Club World Cup. He's back in training session, which is a good news. Huh? You like the player, you don't like the player. It's a really good news, I tell you, because especially in the transfer market session, when a player is not fit, he doesn't move. he doesn't move, he stays there, and then the entire season can be compromised if you were thinking to let him go. But Kelly being back in the group is good. Then Bremer is doing steps ahead. Huh? The objective is being able to play 90 minutes against Parma in match day one and to bring something. You all saw it, you were really viral, that big hug between Tudor and Gleison Bremer. I believe that every single Juventino, if they were in front of Bremer with that big smile saying, Coach, I'm ready, Coach, I'm ready, well, I'm sure that you would hug him. I'm 100% sure about that. Well, Tudor did exactly the same. He said, you will save a lot. You will save us a lot and you will give us some points. Super important. Not in terms of scoring goals, who knows, because if I go back by memory, Bremer is one that is scoring you 2 goals per season on corner kicks, so it's an important player also there to give something where we need. But Bremer, that's his objective, being able from match day one to be ready. Cabal started to train with the team, but only the athletic part, the warming up part, and then he goes for isolated training session. We know that he has 1 month, 1.5 months later in schedule than Bremer because he was injured a bit later. But that's a player that we are counting on to have at disposal between the end of September, beginning of November, so probably somewhere in October. But of course, we need to sell. We need to sell. Jallo is on the market. Facundo Gonzalez is on the market. If there is an opportunity that the club goes for a Lloyd Kelly, he will go out. Otherwise, it will not be the priority today to go for a defender. That answers probably a lot of questions of Tifosi that are asking, but Beppe, we are not going for a defender. Why are we not going for a defender? The question is super easy and makes totally sense. As long as we don't sell, and especially with the news of Bremer, etc., we are calm to understand what player, how much we can go and spend for a player in the defense. I know that Milan, they tried with Ciao. I know that Milan tried with Tomori, that at the moment Juventus is quite cold on these players. Today is the birthday of Daniele Rugani, that is celebrating 31 years old. He wants to stay, and more and more and more there is that possibility for Rugani to stay. I told you I would be extremely happy because he's one that knows. It's already 10 years between one loan and another loan, but especially 10 years, the first time that he has been announced by Juve. Bravo, Daniele Rugani. Happy birthday. If we are speaking about the situation of the strikers, we know that Colomani is still the number one. There were positive contacts with Paris Saint-Germain, which I told you yesterday and today have been confirmed by the different outlets, but there is another option, the name of Nunez, Darwin Nunez, that is an option there if the talks with Paris Saint-Germain at a certain moment would block, would collapse, and if Paris Saint-Germain said, we don't want anymore. That loan with an easy target to become an obligation, we don't want because we have a great offer. Pay attention because even Manchester United is on Colomani, telling you that it's not only Fenerbahce, Saudi Arabia. There are a lot of teams on Colomani. If Colomani says, I am bored to wait, well, then probably Juventus wants to go for a B plan that is at the moment not Højlund anymore, but Nunez, Darwin is an objective. And then they want to solve the Dusan Vlahovic situation. Why am I telling you in that order? Because a few weeks ago, the idea was to solve first the Dusan Vlahovic situation after signing Jonathan David, and after that, only after that, going on the player that you want to go to reinforce the attack. It could be Colomani, Højlund, Nunez, or whatever player. That was the order. First Vlahovic, and then you can see what you can do. Now Juventus, they changed the priorities. Okay, we have Jonathan David. Vlahovic, we will think about him a bit later. Probably they already have the ideas clear on what to do with Dusan Vlahovic, or at least they know what the player wants to do or doesn't want to do. And then Sancho, a lot of people are asking me, Beppe, where is Sancho? Apparently Dortmund is again on the player. Dortmund is again on Sancho. We know that there is that affinity between the two, between Dortmund and the English players. What I can tell you, observing a bit the new management that is still new for us. When I see Kalulu, decision was taken fast. We knew that we wanted the player, we went for the player. Fast, huh? Then Jonathan David, the first day of the transfer market, boom, he was announced as a Juve player. So super fast in the decision. I know that for us it looked like an eternity because we could have signed him in the month of July, even before because he was a free transfer. But from the real first open transfer window, from the 1st of July, we signed. So fast decision. Another one that went extremely fast is Joao Mario. 2 days, 48 hours, and that swap Joao Mario, even if it's not legally a swap, but Joao Mario and Alberto Costa was done. The only one that took a lot of time was Conceição. Why? Because there was that clause that you could go and spend, but Juventus was trying to find a solution that at the end they found in paying him in 4 different years, sorry. So it looks like the players that we are talking about since extremely long, where Juventus for 1 million more, 1 million less, for a salary of 500k more or less, if these players are not at the moment at Juventus Football Club, it means that Juve is not as convinced as it looked like. So, are we 100% convinced on Jadon Sancho, or did something happen in the meanwhile that made us think twice, that made us doubt, that made us say, oh, wait, because there are maybe some opportunities? Same for Kessier, same for Ndidi, same for all the players that we spoke about. And these players that are still there after a few weeks, but that Juventus didn't go for, well, with the Mercato that we are analyzing now, more and more and more we go, more and more it looks like Juventus is saying, calma. Also because we have a lot of things to deal with, because Douglas Luiz is still there, Vlahovic, Nico Gonzalez, etc., 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 etc. If you enjoyed the video, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.